being charged with a murder in Baltimore, later to be acquitted for. But the process, when I first got, of course, detained for my murder, when they first caught me, of course, the process was much different than everyone else, because at the time I was labeled across the TV screen as a armed and dangerous person and things like that. So the process that they took on me was a armed and dangerous process. When I first got locked up, which was in June 1994, is when they grabbed me. And of course I went straight to isolation upon getting locked up, meaning the process of me actually getting booked, where they, get your fingerprints and things like that. They actually, try to find you a bed for a normal arrestee, but in my case, being, of course, on America's Most Wanted and all that, prior to getting locked up for this murder, I went straight to isolation. Solitary confinement, rather. Isolation and solitary confinement are two different things, and this is prior to being, innocent until proven guilty process. This is a guilty until proven innocence process that many hear about. Where they convict in the media before they, of course, convicted in a courtroom. Where you are placed at that time, you are placed with other people such as that who has been maybe guilty until proven innocent. So you have many people, murderers, attempted murderers, and things like that. So you're on a tier of 23-1, as if you actually did a prison infraction, or if you misbehaved in prison. We're not even in prison yet. We're at Baltimore City Jail. We're here at the local jail rather, getting these treatments early in the process. As of course other men, whoever want to kill you or whatever, as well as in the hand of penmen, which are judges. So, you lost, you're angry, you're mad, you're only 19, so you don't have really much understanding of how to control emotions at that time. You're not even a full-grown man. Your mind is not even at that state. When I say vulnerable, I was vulnerable to, of course, misjudging, because at that point, in that time, everybody's an enemy, so the system, friends, foes. So being a person I always had a love for fellow man, to be placed in an inhumane situation where I can't. So now you're trying to learn how to be somebody you're not, which is now you're in that beast state, because the emotions that you gotta change your whole mind state. And of course, me not, of course, them knowing that I did not do the murder that they said I did, and later found out that they knew the person who did, but they already had me locked up. They already had to go with the balls, let's say, let the balls bounce where they may. So, and of course, me supposed to receive mail, they wouldn't let me receive mail. I posted got it, but I would get it 6 months later. So the process was to break me down so I wouldn't get letters. So I wouldn't, so when I send out a letter and don't get a response, it's supposed to be that they don't care about you, so you're supposed to think about all that. The visits, when you go to isolation, they try to be slick. It's called segregated isolation. So that's the little word they put it under. So segregated isolation investigation. So sometimes they could just hold you there, like in my situation, hold you there and didn't have no reason, and then your people still can't see you for 60-something whatever days because you are under investigation. And sometimes you just come off because the investigation was good, but they got 60 days out of you. So yeah, I denied all visits at that point because I just didn't want my people to go through none of that. So I, at that point, denied all visits until I actually went through the process of getting acquitted and getting exonerated of these charges, where the process was a little bit easier to be able to, visit my family members. But I didn't see my mom when I first got locked up for a year and a half. For the first time in my whole life, from 19 years and on, and then I didn't see her for like a year and a half. As far as putting my hands, being able to do the things that other inmates was able to do, through the process. But that was another part of the process that's what I'm allowed to be able to tell other inmates now when I see that they are caught in this trap. That it's not that they don't care about you, it's the process. I would get the letters and they'd be ripped all up, so even when I got them, I still couldn't even read them. Basically, and you can't glue them together in the dark because you're in isolation. So, I mean, they had their little tricks and things like that. It was awfully funny that only mail I was receiving all the time was court mail, like we seeking the death penalty and all. And they never hesitated to not make sure that their mail didn't have no problems on it and court dates and many things like that. So as far as I just said the outside with the inside world, which was the system, made sure they got what they needed to. Not even an option. Prisoners don't get to work. That's why, of course, all the other economical means that you see that comes in through jails is the way of it's called survival crimes. Whatever you see, if somebody actually got stabbed with a knife, it's because they was trying to get something to eat from somebody that was often three Debbie's for hitting him up. Working is basically not even an option. It's like if you got life and you got 50 lifers in the jail with all the jobs, when is he going to not have when is the job will be available? If he got 50 years and he's in the school and he got 30 and you got 5, when are you going to get a job? So I guess when Mr. Ray died with the life sentence in the kitchen. So no, you don't. Working is not an option. When I did work, and I got sentenced and I got acquitted and all that other stuff or whatever. Working was when I actually got into the system. And when you go to school, you actually get a couple of dollars. You get $36 a month for going to school. That's for your little, whatever. But yeah, I guess I worked. I got a check for getting my GED. I got my GED in prison. In prison, which was one of the best things no one could ever teach me, is that I learned people. I learned, I got to study people's, I got to study people's actual limits as well as I got to understand what I could take as well. I know what I can, it let me know how far I can go, even down to the isolation thing, and I know how far I can go, and I know how far people can go. I know people can change. I learned that. While they're inside of there, I see the life and I know he's never coming home, but you would never know he had life because the way he carries himself as if he's coming home tomorrow looking for the better good of the next man that you would never find out here in society. I learned unity. I learned that the unity that is needed out here is really in there because I watched 2 or 3 situations where we had to uprise to actually fight against the system as a whole, where yesterday we probably didn't like each other, but one thing I can say inside of prison, the unity against the injustice of the system is fought much more harder and because there is a what do we have to lose situation in prison where what do you have to lose out here, but people out here think they got something. Like, you know what I mean? Change really comes in there. So yeah, I seen unity and I learned. That's why I know know what to do now. That's why I have so much hope in getting the unity that I need out here because I know I seen it in one of the most illest places that it shouldn't be. Nah, by far it's not a design to rehabilitate. Nah, by far nah. Prison is where you learn how to go kill people, lie, steal, and do many other things unless you don't come to actually want better for yourself. Meaning the mass majority of that's the things I said is what's all in there and what you see is what you be. But no, you can never rehabilitate yourself under conditions such as that. There's no education. And then once there is education as far as GED, there's no way to further it in Maryland as far as, college or things like that. Now, I'm not big enough that somebody should just straight go to prison or go to college or citizens should look into that. But if you want a better product outside, you have to educate what's outside and what's going on. You can't just release a beast out in the street. So at this point, at this time it's perpetual punishment. That's what it's designed for. Perpetual punishment. That's where probation and all that comes in. You're still punishing them. But the wild part about it is many don't know that while I was incarcerated, my older sister had got murdered while I was in isolation. She was 24. She got her brains blew out, thrown on the highway out Glen Burnie. So when I went to prison, I had things, you know what I mean? My kids was 1 year old and like 9 months old when I went to prison. When I got home, they was 5 and 6. I had lost so much that it wasn't really like, without having Tasha, you know what I mean? And I still don't have her now, 41 years, so it's like, she got murdered in like 1996. She got murdered August 3rd, 1996. I came home December 27th, 97. So the day she really got murdered, you know what I mean? That freedom shit is bullshit. Like, I don't even, if I had all the money and all the black people was free or whatever this I have a dream thing and all the bliss that anyone could think of that they want for this world, I still be the cat in the corner, still like, I hope y'all happy, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna never have a free dome with the brothers and sisters, these dog tags, the brothers are lost in this war, you know, I ain't gonna be free. So me knowing that, but that's just because I've lost so much. So for the people that haven't lost so much, I can get them free. They're definitely necessary. Nobody ain't going to be stupid and crazy on that. You know, come on, man. I mean, we definitely have to understand. But what it is that the word wouldn't be more like prison. The prison word is called prison because of the lack of correction and the process that it really could take when we're talking about restorative justice, not perpetual punishment. The Quakers started the prisons in a restorative justice way that, you know, if you really looked at it, you have better products in society, and then you'll have that changed person in society to be able to see the errors that's going on in the community before it even would reach. And our system would be be great if we did it in a restorative, yes, division of correction. But then what's that word? It's called division of correction. Like, what did you divide and to try to get something corrected? Like, you're expecting some weirdos, you know. So yeah, what more better? It takes a felon to lead a felon, a criminal lead a criminal. That we did the restorative way of what scared straight is, and me going into the prison systems to let them see a better place, and all these things that we are needed. But yes, it's definitely needed, but restorative justice. And when I say this, and that's why I guarantee you, that's why we don't say it the way we say it. When I say everybody is at the table for any decision that comes into my mind, what we call good or bad. Any decision that once we realize what the control of these decisions that come out of our head is, it affects somebody. So once I have actually made this decision to do something, involved everybody that I think that's involved in, for me being a president, for me being a street leader, to me even being an addict, to me actually putting this into my arm, is some decisions around me that's not going to let people feel uncomfortable. I'm high and free, but is it bringing an injustice to the people around me? Freedom to me is when everybody, red, black, yellow, green, paraplegic, the kid, bring the dog along, you know what I mean? Everybody at that table for real. We would call it asinine opinion, we would call it an asinine action move. But long as we all there, it's not black, it's not white, it's, you know, this world is human. This world ain't got no creed or color on it. Different people like different things, you know, so until everybody come at the table, like a whole city come at the table, town hall, big old, really sit down and listen to people, the felon, the perpetrator, the murderer, the one they killed. I mean, everybody, you know. And it starts with, anytime you're going to see freedom, it got to be a process that's called a word that is healing. And until we start healing, freedom would just be a whisper, as it was with slavery. But look how far we got from that. Yeah, people can say we still trapped, but we wasn't able to walk through these cities and towns like we was. And it was just a thought. It was just a whisper. So we got this far, which is not far at all in some eyes, and I know that. But we can actually have an actual, you know, union of village people who can really see freedom. You know what I mean? It's people that really want to, you know, be diverse and just want to see people as humans, and that's freedom. And anybody want to see shit like that with me, with cuss words and all, red, black, yellow, green, you know what I mean, without none of that, you know what I'm talking, that a murder can end you, man, we'll be good. And freedom, guess what, it don't cost nothing. And in a capitalistic society, that's where the problem at. It won't cost me nothing to lend you my shoes, to make you have to go out there and buy some if I got 9 pair. It don't cost me nothing to go say you can have my coat. It don't cost me nothing to break you off a sandwich if I'm great, get one, because now you ain't got to go to the market, and vice versa. But now both of us being stingy, I got shoes, you got to go buy something there, but there ain't no village there. That ain't freedom. I can't wait. I'ma die getting that shit. That's what I'ma try to get it. I'm 41. I ain't got nothing else to lose. They took me there already. So the only thing I gotta do is be free. You know what I mean? Freedom. That's what freedom is. What I just said is coming from here. So long as I live it up in here, I'ma forever be free. Now get it out here. Only thing I like to say is that a lot of times, again, by me being out here 18 years and I seen a bigger struggle, me coming home was a lot more easy than what I see these people having to come home to now, not recognizing neighborhoods. A lot of brothers I got who's in my society, 40-something years in prison, 47 years, I mean, more time than Mandela. But they don't come on to get to be a president. I speak for them, you know what I mean? I don't care what happened to me at this point. I wish that every brother that ever come home, if they only could just get 18 years of not being sat on no curb like myself, to be able to walk through from the streets, that they can say one name and then be somewhere else in Annapolis and they say, how you doing, Mr. Neverdon? Or you can have your name back. You know, if I could give, you know, just a little bit that I was able to, the jobs that I was able to accomplish, the companies I was able to get on this ride, I just want that to be in the hands of, you know, I just want felons to know that's what I want for them. Like, they can do this. They can do better than me. I want them to do way better. I want them to run for office. I want them to, you know, I want them to run. If you want to be a CEO, then be a good CEO. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to be a CEO, but if that's what you want to do for the CEOs that's listening to this, they part of the change of what comes into our communities. You know what I mean? You're going to be an inmate, then raise yourself to be a prisoner or a convict, or you start thinking and reading your law library and all that to either get out of there or get somebody else out of there. You know what I mean? This resurrection of an ex-offender is not about me, but this resurrection that I'm going to do, and I'm going to die, I'm not going back up in there. So I definitely want them to know that I'm not going back up in there for no traffic ticket, for nothing, for no. So I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I'm not going back up in there, because if I go in there, I let a lot of people down, and it's not just about me, and that's freedom, because if I get locked up, then a lot of other people will be disappointed, and they're not going to be happy, and I want people to be happy, and that's what all felons and any low life have not want for other people. You know, most people with less want best for others. People with the most don't want you to, you know what I mean, toast no glass with them. So I end that off that this is not my ride, this ride for my city. I love Baltimore, the good, the bad, the ugly, from east, west, north, south. They ask me where I'm from. I'm not from east or west, but I'm from Baltimore, 41 years. You know what I mean? I eat here, shit here, live here. And like I said, I'm going to make sure that my city resurrect. I mean, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't moving. I'm going to make sure that we be all right to my last breath. And anybody else willing to fight with me, white, black, yellow, or green, PFK gun, that's it.